evening, everyone. That is Laura, and this is Kyle. This is He Said, She Said. Laura, it has been like 3 years, it feels like. I know the summer is over. We're now moving into the fall, and we're back to it again. How have you been?
I am good. Transitioning, my friend, transitioning. Sending a child to college, getting my baby into a car driving. Life is evolving once
We've got an interesting topic tonight. And I first heard about this through, I guess, a couple of articles that were posted in some of the news sources in the internet. And it revolves around this notion of what's called revenge porn. All right? And for those of us that don't know what revenge porn is, in essence, it's examples of where, and it's usually a girl, I guess it could be both ways, but it's usually a guy and girl are dating, and for whatever the reason, he entices her or she voluntarily sends nude pictures of herself, and probably nude is a conservative way of, I'm sure she's doing some risque poses during this. So she sends these pictures to him, usually electronically by phone or email or whatever, you know, for his, you know, little glory wall or whatever he wants to call it. And then they eventually break up. And there are websites out there that are for the express purpose of these then boyfriends or girlfriends to post these photos online as a form of revenge. So there is this, I guess, grassroots effort, Laura, to now bring legislative attention to revenge porn, begin to sue these website companies who allow these individuals to post these photos online. And I guess it's now entered the cultural conversation.
I didn't really know, and it's embarrassing because it's making me feel old, but I did not know what revenge porn was, so I did do a little bit of research, and I have oh so many thoughts on the entire subject.
Listen, technology is a great thing. It gives the opportunity to do things, you know, we've talked about in the past, you know, the ways to flirt and do things with text messages and email and so forth. But at some point or another, you got to draw a line. I learned in my business career many years ago, Laura, never put anything out into the internet that you don't want the entire public to see. Because once you put it out there, there is no getting it back. Ever. Even if the boyfriend or the girlfriend that you trust is just super duper honest and you guys end up riding off into the sunset together, someone else can get it. And if you don't believe me, ask Anthony Weiner.
I don't understand what is so hard to comprehend about that. I don't understand. I fail to see how today anyone would put anything, a picture of any little part of them out there. I mean, okay, so I have 2 teenage boys, right? So, I mean, let's use Anthony Weiner. So it's entirely probable, I mean, today that teenage boys, young men, take a picture of their junk and send it. I don't really know why. You know, one's got to be in the mood, the lighting, the, you know, whatever. There's nothing appealing, I really do find, that a texted picture of someone's junk. I have been asked by men in the course of my post-divorce dating experience to please send a picture of me.
So I want to stop right there for a minute, okay? Because I'm going to go out on a limb and say that in most cases, the request to begin to text naughty pictures back and forth is usually coming from the guy. Just going to go out on a limb and say that. If that's too general, you know, slap my wrist, okay? So I think about it this way, right? I think in some ways or another, men use, and I'll include myself, I'm a guy, whatever. Men use the fact that if I can get her to do that, It says something about me. It says that I've got game. It says that I've got the ability to potentially manipulate her. I have the ability to be able to get her to do what I want. That means she is stopping what she's doing and doing that for me, right? That's what it says. So I think in a lot of ways, it's a huge ego trip for the guy to get her to do that. Now, granted, Laura, once the picture's taken within 5 minutes, he's forgot about it, okay? He might glance at it once or twice afterwards, but he's really forgotten about it. So I think that there's a little bit of truth there, this idea that it's a kind of an ego thing for the guy to get her to do that. Much like it's an ego trip for a guy to get a girl to do a lot of things that she probably wouldn't want her mother to know about. Part of the concern, I think part of the gripe that especially the women that have been victimized by this is the argument that you kind of deserve what you get.
Right. Oh, yeah.
You put the picture out there. What did you expect? Now, that does not alleviate the guilt of the person who is going to post a photo of his ex on a website in order to get back at her. I mean, he's as guilty as there is. However,
Absolutely.
It goes back to what I said initially, right? Just like an email, just like something you put on Facebook, just like something you put on Twitter, just like you put on any social media outlet, the moment you hit the enter button and that thing fires off into bits and circles and lines, once it goes out to zeros and ones, it's out there. You have to take partial responsibility when you do that. When you hit the send button and it goes out, you've got to take some ownership in that. That does not eliminate the person from doing what they've done to get back at you, but you are not just the victim.
There are consequences to everything what comes out of our mouths and every action that we take. It's just every behavior that we exhibit. It's the way that it is. And I totally agree with you. I don't believe someone deserves to have their... Again, I agree with you. They don't deserve to have that sent to their employer and sent out there into the world like in that fashion. But I think as a society, we have to start to take responsibility for the fact that, you know, you don't need to take a naked shot of your naked bod to get someone to like you, to date you, to have intimacy and hot sexual experiences. I mean, come on.
And I'm just going to say this to any woman out there that's listening. If you're dating a man and you've started dating, you made the statement earlier that some of the guys that you had dated had asked you to send naked photos, right? If this guy is not someone who has the potential for long term, right? And I'm not going to take all the fun away. Put it this way: if you've been dating the guy for less than a month and he's asking you to send you naked photos of yourself, honey, you got the wrong guy.
Let me tell you something. Listen. You know, I think you already know by now, I am by no means your, straight and narrow little Jewish girl over here in the Northeast. I'm just not. I'm not that girl. And I love to have a good time, and I'm open to, sexual exploration and play and having a good time with someone that I'm intimate with and trust. However, taking a naked picture of myself, while flattering to think that anybody would consider this worthy of a naked photo through the internet, not happening. Not happening.
These poor women they can't be that naive. Surely to God, they have to have a little bit of common sense. I mean, you're going to send a photo of yourself, the reflection in the mirror shot, right? With her butt sticking out or doing whatever. Obviously, she's got full face, right? Everything is there for the world to see. I know you are. You shoot that out, you're an idiot. You're just an idiot. I'm sorry. I'm going to call it what it is. You're an idiot. And the guy that asked you for the shot is a loser. Because at the end of the day, there's no... Where do you get out of that, right? what's the end result of that? What's the purpose of that? Is he going to sit around and kind of fantasize over it during work? That's another strike, because the guy needs to be working instead of looking at naked photos of you.
You sound like, you sound like a father. Like, you totally sound like, I know, you totally sound like a father right there. The truth is, there is no reward to that outweighs the risk, in my opinion. No. And we may sound old, and we may sound stodgy, and we may sound like, ranting parents, but you know what? You and I have also been single and into middle age, and anything goes. And so I get it. But there is no reward that can outweigh the risk of putting yourself out there for someone whose emotions are running wild, who's upset with you, angry with you, you dissed them, you did them wrong, to take your shit and put it up and put it out and give you a world of hurt that you never saw coming. But the truth is, you should have seen it coming. Yeah, and it's an unfortunate statement, and somehow it feels dirty to say that. It feels wrong to say that, and I get that. And I guess, Kyle, the one thing I would say is, I don't want to put all the blame on the person, on the poor woman who took the picture. No. I don't want to do that. But on the other hand,
we have to state the obvious here. When it comes to that situation, she controls that, Laura.
Yeah.
She controls it. Even if he's sitting there with his camera phone, she can either say, yes, you're going to, or no, you're not. At the end of the day, she's the one that controls that. And it doesn't alleviate the fact that what's happened is wrong. The fact that there's websites out there that cater to that type of revenge and that type of behavior speaks volumes to the moral insanity that we live in. But at the end of the day, though, you got to think through that. You got to play that movie to the end and tell me if you like that or not. Even if nothing ever happens, do you really want to think that that's out there somewhere?
Then you're looking over your shoulder. You're looking over your shoulder. Here's the thing. What is it? It's an old-time saying now. It used to not be, but just say no. Really, just say no. Sorry, just say no.
Yeah. And if he gets all upset about it, then maybe that's your sign. Final thoughts.
So unfortunate. The whole thing is just really freaking unfortunate. But you do have to think twice. It's the way it is now. It is the way it is, and we can debate the honor and integrity and all of that, but the bottom line is, keep it covered.
Keep it covered.
All of it.
I'll reiterate what I said before. At the end of the day, ladies, you're the one that controls that. You're the one that either says, yes, you can take a photo of me, or no, you cannot take a photo of me. I would ask you two things. First, what's it really doing for you to do that? And then secondly, what's he really wanting it for? Right? So, Laura, until next time, good to see you again. Talk to you soon.